What's up, YouTube? Now, my garden this year had a bumper crop of peppers. I put them in salsas, I put them in pasta sauces, I put them in my chilies, and I've also dehydrated them. And they're still coming on. So today, I'm going to show you how I'm going to slice these up and freeze them. Now, I grew all kinds of peppers this year. I have some poblanos, some Anaheims, a hot Hungarian wax, a banana pepper, jalapenos, green peppers, and also some sweet Marconis. Now I'm just going to mix these all together in a bag because I like the flavor of all the different peppers. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and remove the seeds. So to do that, I'm just going to snip off the top here and cut it in half. Now I have my compost bowl right here, and I'm just going to empty out my seeds and some of the ribs into my bowl. Just like that. And if I can, I'm going to remove the stem and use this outer part of the pepper also. Now for this batch, I think I'm going to freeze them into strips. So I'm just going to cut them into strips. Just like that I could use for a steak sandwich, smothered over a steak with some onions, or anything like that. And if I happen to need some diced peppers, I'll just go ahead and dice these up when I thaw them out. And for the top here, I'm just going to dice it. So now I'm just going to throw my strips in one bowl and my dices in the other. So I'll just show you how to do that one more time. So I'm just going to cut off the stem. And as you can see, this stem fell right out. I'll cut it in half and take out the seeds and any of the ribs. Now just cut it into slices. And dices. Now most of these peppers are sweet peppers, and there are a couple varieties of hot, like my jalapenos and the Hungarian hot waxes. So if your skin is sensitive to hot peppers, go ahead and wear some gloves. And make sure you wash your hands really well before you go to the bathroom. I learned that the hard way. So now I'm just going to cut up the rest of these, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready to freeze them. Alright guys, so I have my peppers all cut into strips and the smaller ones diced up here. And now I just want to know how much I have. So I'm going to take my scale here. I'm going to put my bowl on here and tear it out. Now I'm just going to dump my strips in here. So I have almost 2 pounds of strips here, so I'm going to freeze these into 1 pound bags. So now I just grabbed a cookie sheet here. I put my strips in a thin layer, just like that, and I'm going to throw this into the freezer for about 30 to 45 minutes. I want to make sure these are frozen before I bag them up. You could just dump them in a bag if you wanted to, but they'll all stick together and it'll be hard to break apart. I don't know if I'm going to use a whole pound when I'm cooking, so this way they'll break apart easily and I can just take what I need and put the others back in the freezer. Now about every 15 minutes I'll go ahead and stir these strips around just to make sure they're not going to stick together. Now for my diced pieces here, I'm just going to throw them in a measuring cup. It's just about 2 cups, and that's perfect for a serving, I think. So I'm just going to put them on another smaller cookie sheet. And throw those in the freezer also. Alright guys, so I have my dice strips here and they're frozen rock solid. My strips are going to take a little bit longer. So now I'm just going to vacuum seal these up. Now you can just use a freezer bag, of course. But when you vacuum seal something, it'll last 2 to 3 years. If you just use a freezer bag, it's only going to last 6 to 12 months in the freezer. So I went ahead and I purchased myself a food saver this year and I love it. So now I'm just going to fill this up. And as you can see here, I've already used this bag before. The great thing about these is you can throw them in the dishwasher or give them a good rinse and you can reuse them over and over again. So I'm just going to fill my bag here with these peppers. Now I'm just going to go ahead and vacuum seal this. So what you want to do is put the end of your bag down in this little trough here. Just like that. Now I'm going to lock it and press the vacuum and seal. When the lights shut off, you're done. Now just for some extra security, I like to just move it down just a little bit from my first seal and seal it again. For this, all I'm going to do is just push the seal button. And there you go. It's all sealed up, and like I said, it'll last 2 to 3 years in your freezer. So now I'm just going to take a Sharpie here, and I have 2 cups of diced peppers. And it's September of 2017. Now all I need to do is throw this in my freezer, and anytime I need some diced peppers, go ahead and grab these. Now I'll just do my strips, and I'll show you what they look like when I'm finished. Alright, and like I said, I'd had about 2 pounds of these pepper strips, so I'm just going to divide this pan in half. Put half in this bag and half in this bag. So now I'm just going to go ahead and throw these in my freezer. And the great thing with these vacuum sealed ones is they lay pretty flat. That's not going to take up hardly any room in my freezer. Now if you're thinking about getting a food saver like I have right here, I think it's a great idea to go ahead and get the jar attachments also. Mine just happened to come with the hose, but I did have to buy these separately. This one I actually got at the Goodwill. I think it was $1.99. And I also have the wide mouth one that I purchased on Amazon, and I think it was about $10. Now the reason why I recommend getting these jar attachments is because they are great for your dehydrated foods. Here I have some lemon thyme that I dehydrated from my garden. And here is some crushed red pepper flakes that I just dehydrated my cayenne peppers and threw them in this jar. Now you can just store your herbs in these jars and it'll be just fine. But after a while they'll tend to go stale. So what you're going to want to do is take off the ring. My vacuum sealer here has the accessory port right here, so I plugged in my hose. Plug your hose into the end of your jar adapter and stick it on your jar. Now I'm going to lock it down and press the vacuum seal button. Now when your lights are off, you just want to remove your hose, remove the accessory, and you can see that this is now an airtight seal. Because this is dehydrated and now I vacuumed all the air out, this will last forever. Now I'm just going to do the same thing with my crushed red pepper flakes. Now this rubber gasket does tend to come out sometimes, but all you need to do is slip it right back in. And just seal it. Now that's a good seal. Well, I hope you liked this video on how I froze my peppers. I hope you give it a try. If you like this video and want to see more of my videos, go down below and hit the big red subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. If you have a question about this video or any of my other videos, or would just like to leave a suggestion for a future upcoming video, leave me a comment. Feel free to share this video across your social medias. And as always, thanks for watching. Happy gardening and freezing. And I'll see you next time.